Hi, welcome to Warrior Women in Business episode 52. And I'm very happy to be sitting in Ish, which means jaguar, right?
Yes, ma'am.
In Guatemalan, yes?
It's a Guatemalan restaurant.
Yes, and I'm very excited to be sitting here with successful female restaurateurs in New York City. My name is Jasmine Sandler, and Warrior Women in Business, if you're not familiar with it, has been around for almost 10 years now. We're into episode 50, and what we do is we highlight female leaders in business, in the arts, and in this case, hospitality and restaurateurs. I'm sitting here with Brenda. Can you say your full name for us, please?
Brenda Castellanos.
Yes, I could never say that. So I'm sitting here with Brenda. She's taking time out of her day to share her story with us through COVID and all these other troubling times that we've had in New York. Now, if anybody knows me, my background, just so you know, is I did restaurant marketing in New York City for about 15 years, and I've seen restaurants rise and fall many times. So I want to start with, how is it to run a restaurant in New York City these days? And can you talk about how you've had success?
Well, first of all, we started with Taqueria El Patron Mexican Grill, which is our first baby.
Mm,
It's been almost 9 years since we started, and it's like having another baby.
yeah.
You know, it was tough. Then we learned, and then COVID came, and that
Mm.
was the toughest time I would say that we ever had.
And did you stay open during that time? Or did you have to
We
close?
stay open
Amazing.
because thanks to this amazing neighborhood,
Mm.
people
Oh yeah, I
support
failed to mention. Where are we? We're in Prospect Park.
Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
Yes, which is a
Amazing
thriving,
neighborhood.
always re-thriving neighborhood, right? So keep
Yes.
going.
Yes, so our neighbors support our businesses in a tremendous way.
Mm.
We had to close the gate. The bar was closed for 11 months.
Wow.
And then people just, came and then start ordering the food to go, drinks to go. And then we were able to keep all our staff, working full time
Yeah.
because bartenders, barbacks, servers learn how to pack food, even do delivery,
Right.
So we are very grateful, for them being here. And then right now we're sitting at Ish, which is the first Mayan Guatemalan restaurant in New York
Did you say
City.
Mayan Guatemala?
Yes, ma'am.
Interesting. So talk
Yes.
to me, for those of my audience, which probably all of them don't know about Mayan Guatemalan food cuisine. Talk to us a little bit about it.
So let me tell you a little bit about Guatemala. Guatemala is the heart of the Mayan world.
Mm.
So we have three traditional Mayan dishes in our menu.
Okay.
And then I have to say that our chef, he is, he loves and he's passionate about food. So he went to the mountains to learn how to
Yeah, of
cook
course. Yeah.
traditional Mayan food.
Yeah.
The tradition that we have is hokon,
Hmm.
which is based, cilantro, tomatillo,
Mm.
rice, potatoes, carrots. That's the base on the hokon.
Mm.
And then we have pepian.
Mm.
It's basically like it's very similar.
Like a stew?
It is a stew.
I'm used to Peruvian food, so I know.
But
Yes.
also Mexico, they
Yeah.
have pipian. They call it pipian.
Ah,
We call
yeah.
it pepian.
Yeah.
The base on this one is seeds, like
Ah.
flower seeds,
Oh, interesting.
sesame seeds. It's different
Interesting.
flavors.
Mm.
And quichon.
Okay.
Quichon is a dish that you cannot miss if you are going to a wedding, to a quinceañera. Back home is a must. If it's not pepian, jocon, or quichon, there is no party.
So let me ask you this. Is there a big Guatemalan community in Prospect Park in New York? What does that look like?
No, actually, no. The Guatemalan community is not here,
Mm.
but that's something that let us, show off because we're the first one in that we are teaching, American people about our food, our culture, our we don't use cocoa, we use cacao.
Oh, I
100%
know.
cacao.
I know.
Coffee from Guatemala.
It's the best.
Thank
Guatemalan
you.
coffee is the best.
I know.
I have to
I
say.
agree with you.
All right, so let's go back a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Let's go back and talk about your family and how your family helped to develop this business, and how you went through those hard times, and what's maybe one thing that you did, like one shift that you did as a female entrepreneur to help the business thrive. Was it the family? Was it the workers? Talk to us about that a little bit.
All right, so let me tell you that I come from a big family. We are
Nice.
9 brothers, and I have,
Wow.
7 brothers, 1 sister.
Yeah.
And then I have to tell you that my sister is not just my sister, she's my partner, but she's my soulmate.
Oh, it's
We
nice.
can read, minds of each other, and
Yeah.
it's amazing because many times we don't have to talk. We
Isn't that
just
nice?
know, we just feel what's
Yeah.
going on.
Right.
And then very hard worker, and my mom, my sister, I think that the strength of my life. And then I have a daughter and a niece, so we are a beautiful team. I think all those components make my life beautiful.
Yeah, it's
You
the
know,
support. I love the female support
yeah,
because
I
that's
love it
exactly what we talk about
exactly. And
in
then, let
Warrior
me
Women
tell
is
you,
the female support. I love it.
I love that because
Yeah.
also all my brothers,
Mm.
they don't live in the states. They live
Oh,
back home. They don't
interesting.
like to live in New York because they say you only live to work. And over there
Yeah.
you work
Yeah.
to live, but here we just work.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
they don't like to live here, but
Yeah.
they love coming and visit New York.
Yeah.
And you know when we started, we didn't know exactly what we're doing. Honestly,
Yeah.
we just were thinking to open our own Guatemalan place because when we moved to the
Ah.
States,
And why did you move here? Can you talk about
we
that? Sorry.
moved like 20 years ago.
Okay.
And then we just came because my mom was living in New York already.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
just came with my sister.
Yeah.
And then we didn't know anyone. We didn't have friends. We didn't speak English.
Mm.
So we basically came and started a whole new life.
Mm.
And was interesting because we started learning when we started going to school.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then we start asking where you make my money because we were working as a babysitters. That was our
Yeah.
first job.
Yeah. Okay.
So some lady came and she's like, oh, restaurants, and then they need a waitress.
Man.
And do you have experience? And I was like, oh yes, I know
Of
that.
course, you say yes.
I
First job.
didn't know.
Right.
I had no
I got
idea
you. I understand.
because in Guatemala I went to college. I studied business administration,
Oh, nice.
and then I worked for a pharmaceutical company. So I had no idea how
Oh.
to do it. The only thing that I knew at that moment, it was like I need to make money. I
Mm.
need to make a living in the States. So I went to the interview, and I remember, it's funny for me. The manager, first thing he asked me, do you speak English? And the only thing I
Oh,
knew was, yes, I do.
wow. Is that what they teach you? I'm just kidding. That's good.
Yes, I do.
There's a tip for people learning languages.
Right? And then he said, have you worked in a restaurant before? I asked, yes. And everything for me was, yes.
Yes.
Yes. It was funny.
That's great.
So and he said, okay, you start Friday. And then the first thing
Wow.
I said, I have to learn. So what I did, it
You
was,
shadow
okay,
somebody.
show me where the things are.
Yeah.
And then I start following.
Yeah.
And then eventually I saw who was the best waitress. And I started, talking to her, and how you do this and this and this. And I learned. Eventually, I became the number one in the restaurant. Anyway, I became the number one in the restaurant, and it was a great experience. So after that, I always talk to my sister and said we have to bring our own food because we
Yeah.
didn't like the food, we didn't like the coffee, we didn't like the cacao. We look at this is
Different.
cocoa.
Yeah.
We want hot chocolate, real
I
coffee, real
know.
food. We need rice, beans, cheese, tortillas. So we start creating our own menu. I would say like a 15 years ago before opening
Wow.
ish, and we write it on, and then we still have those papers.
Yeah.
And then-
Visualization too.
exactly,
Right?
exactly.
I love it.
And
Now, did you cook? Did you guys cook at home? Did your mama cook? Did your grandma
my
cook?
mom,
Yeah, that's
my
good.
mom,
And
yeah.
not to interrupt you, but
Thank you.
it
No.
seems like that's where that passion might come from. You
And
know
my
what I
grandma,
mean?
actually, I have to tell you that the mole that we have here, the sweet mole, with
Oh,
plantains,
it's
is my
nice.
grandma's
You're making me
recipe.
so hungry. It's ridiculous. But
You
keep
have to
going.
try it. You
I'm
have
on
to
a
try
diet. Keep going.
So when we decide finally to open our own business, we found out that the place next door was empty.
Oh.
And then we said, this is too big because we were thinking to have a coffee shop. And we were like, this is too big for a coffee shop. We need a real restaurant.
So I have a question for you though. This is important for the female startups, okay? You mentioned a couple of things, and I know cacao. I know everything about it in terms of the treatment, how it supports women. We had a cacao party for Warrior Women in Business, just so you know. So were you thinking you were going to start a cafe Why would you start with that? Was it because you wanted to do your cocoa in the right way, and or was it because you thought it's a small start and it's more reasonable?
Exactly,
Because
both.
that's very logical. I like it.
Both,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
because
that's for the
something we
people
can
that
handle.
right. That's for the women that jump
Exactly.
into big things and then they fail. So it's a very important lesson.
Yes,
Very
exactly. So
important
that's what
lesson.
we thought it was.
Mm.
We can handle that,
Yeah, I like that.
And then also, I'm a pastry chef, so I was like,
Oh.
okay, work, cooked,
Mm.
bake, and then
Yeah.
you do the coffee. That
Wow.
was our first,
Mm.
plan.
Yeah.
Then when we found out the place was empty, we're like, okay, we need to change the plan, not the vision, because we always knew we are going to have our own Guatemalan place. We changed the plan, adjusted, changed the menu, and
Yeah.
then it was great how we agreed and said, let's start with a Mexican restaurant because it's
Interesting. So why did you do that?
exactly because it was
No, I love Mexican
easier.
food. You
Oh
don't have
no,
to
me
sell me
too.
on
And
it.
then God bless Mexican food.
I love anything Mexican. So go
I
ahead.
know tacos. For us, it was easier to sell tacos,
Right.
burritos, than introduce to the market to the New York a whole new menu
Here's
that
what
nobody
this
knew,
is. So you
and we
brought
didn't have a lot of money.
so I just want to state they leveraged a current customer base.
Right,
Very smart. They also started logically small and you also leverage your strengths. I like
right.
that.
Thank you.
Then let's talk about expansion.
Okay.
So now what's the
Ayer,
restaurant again next door so everybody knows?
Taqueria El Patron Mexican Grill,
Okay, everybody needs to go there.
51 Lincoln Road.
All right, all right. So go ahead. Tell me
And
about how you
then
expand.
after that, a year later, uh, the store next door was empty.
Mm.
So we decided to take over and open the bar. So that's La Cantina del
Now, did you
Patron.
do that did you reinvest from the
Right,
profits of your other business?
exactly.
And how did you make that decision?
We were able to do that because we saw the need then this
Ah,
neighborhood had, by that moment.
ah,
So we were like, okay, let's do it. And then a year later, this place was always a coffee shop. I used to come
oh,
and love the
interesting.
coffee here
Oh,
in the pastry. And then one day I said, listen, whenever you're ready to sell this place, let us know. And the owner was like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, I'm serious.
what year was that?
2007, 17, 16,
So it's
2016.
pre-COVID. Okay, keep
Yes,
going. Okay,
exactly.
yep.
So, 2, 3 days later, he went next door. He said, I need tequila. I said, okay. And then let's talk.
Ah,
You want it? I said, yeah. Okay, I don't want it anymore. You can have it. So we started, negotiating the price. And then finally is when our dream came true.
okay.
Have our own Guatemalan coffee
Ah,
shop, then eventually became a restaurant, and
ah.
it's been featured in the New York Times twice already for being the first Mayan Guatemalan restaurant in New York City.
Wow,
Yeah.
very interesting. So let's talk about your staff for a second.
Okay.
So, how do you find your staff? How do you train your staff? Talk about the staff for a
Okay.
second.
Mm, most of them are with us since we started. So let's start from the patron, and then later, they start bringing. Oh, I have my cousin, my brother, my friend. They need a job, and then we always like interview people and say like, okay, tell me about a little bit your background.
Mm.
You have family, where you coming from, and then we see when people really need to work, and then they, even though they don't know the job, but like I can learn. And
Yes.
I love that when people
Ditto.
I can learn.
I can learn.
I love that.
That's what it takes to succeed.
Exactly.
I can learn.
I can learn.
That's it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And then so that's basically it because all of them are being with us. There is no we don't have a new, person
So you've
in
kind
the
of
staff.
homegrown your staff
Exactly.
from the other restaurant
From the other restaurant and then
to this restaurant.
exactly. And now most of them know how to work on different places because a year after we opened this one, we opened across the street.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we have the other small Mexican place across the street.
Wow.
That was before COVID as well.
Oh, okay.
That ended up being an amazing idea because let me tell you when we were thinking to open and what to open across the street.
Yeah.
my friends said, "Oh, you're crazy. You must be crazy. How do you think you're gonna open a Mexican restaurant across the street from another Mexican restaurant?" I said, "I know it's gonna work." And when COVID came, that was a great idea because across the street it was meant to be only to go take out.
Ah, right.
And over there, you find the food that you
People
would
forget how
get.
important takeout is at restaurants.
Yeah.
I've worked in a million restaurants.
But here, a
Takeout.
patron is, dine in,
Right.
Mexican, Californian style. But across the street is marketplace.
Yeah,
like
I
a
got it.
food that you
Perfect.
eat in the market in Mexico.
Yeah.
Tacos, handmade
You just go,
tortillas,
yeah.
chilaquiles,
Yeah, yeah.
corn, street,
Yeah, yeah,
street
yeah.
food. It was a great idea.
Yeah, that's really
And then,
great.
like I said, this neighborhood has been too good to us, and we are grateful for that.
All right.
In pandemic came,
Mhm.
we opened two more restaurants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one in Queens, Richwood, and one in Parslow.
Oh, wow. So, how many restaurants are still in operation today?
All of them. We just changing things a little bit in Queens and Parslow, but all of them are
Wow,
working.
this is amazing.
Changing menu.
Well, we're going to
Yeah.
list all the restaurants in the show notes so people can go. Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay, so what's your plan for 2024, 2025?
There is so many plans right now.
Like your long-term goal?
Right now, we just are bringing our own brand of wine from Portugal.
Yeah,
We
we're
have
going to share that later.
4 different wines from Portugal, one from California.
Nice.
And then we've been working a lot with the Guatemalan community as well. And I think for the rest of the year, we are trying to work more with the community and also trying to help,
That's good.
our own people. And then we're going to open the first Guatemalan Chamber of Commerce as well in New York.
Wow,
So
that's a big
that's
deal.
coming next. Yes.
Wow, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting. And where's most of the community reside in New York? Just because I don't know.
There is a lot here in Brooklyn,
Mm.
in Queens.
What part of Queens?
Roosevelt,
Right.
around
Jackson
Roosevelt,
Heights and Corona.
Jackson Heights, exactly. Corona, yeah.
Because
Basically
the Long
that.
Island City, I don't know if you're familiar, the Long Island City Business Chamber is really about supporting women in business. If you haven't, and so it's probably something you should check out.
Oh,
Yeah, they're all
interesting.
about supporting women in business. You
Interesting.
know. Now let me ask you about women in business a little bit. So, do you work with any vendors, partners that are women based? Have you seen that in the let's say restaurant or maybe the supplier community, or is it mainly men?
That's kind of our rule. We like to work with women,
Excellent.
and we support women, and then we support our community. That's our, you know, we like to encourage others to do the same.
Absolutely.
So that's our rule. If it's women business, we
Are you doing anything special for Women's History Month, which is this month?
this month,
Yeah.
we're still planning, where to go, but definitely we are doing something in one of the shelters for the children, coming
Like
the
the
border.
family.
No, with
Oh,
our
the
parents,
immigrants.
and then the
Oh,
immigrants, and then
interesting.
we are bringing, some support.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
That's wonderful.
It's like a showing, how we women rule the war and how our hands can do for others.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
brains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the brains.
Absolutely.
So let's just talk about your role versus your sister's role in the business. What's your role kind of day to day?
Basically, administration.
Okay.
I keep telling my guys, if there is money, you talk to me. If it's a schedule, all the human resources, you talk to my sister.
That's nice.
Because we don't want people, take advantage of that. Oh, you respect with your sister.
That is
And
so
there's
true.
the
One
other
thing.
way. No.
Sounds like a family.
Don't talk to me. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So that's how we share our responsibilities.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Let's talk about, I'm sure you looked at other restaurants in the area or New York City because you're in the industry. Talk to us a little bit about restaurants in New York City today, where you see opportunities. Should anybody on the podcast want to become a restaurant owner? Any of my audience members wants to become a restaurant owner, or maybe I have investors that want to invest in restaurants. Like, just talk to us a little bit about, if you know about the industry today, maybe where it's going, anything that you can talk about.
First of all, you have to know that it's not easy. This business is
Amen.
not
Is
easy.
not easy.
Not easy at all. but it's beautiful because you never do the same thing every day.
It's
Never.
dynamic.
There is always something new, somebody new to to talk.
Yeah.
Um, very demands
Demanding.
time.
Yeah.
Since you get up until you go to bed whenever you get a chance. We know at what time we start working. We don't know at what time we're gonna finish
That's
the
right.
day. It is what it is.
Yes.
And then we're mothers and we bring our kids here. The kids are playing, then they're, even at home, then they're working, they're cooking.
It's good.
They share also,
That's good.
the chores at home. Like one is cooking, the other one is in charge of the money, and it's something that we see like, oh my God, they're learning
They're
from
learning.
everything that they see us doing.
Yeah.
And it's been very challenging, after COVID. We
Yeah.
were just talking recently with my sister that COVID was easy as soon as we, get track on what's going on, everything to go, wear your mask, sanitize
Yeah, right. All
everything.
the protocols.
After that
Yeah.
was easy, but last year was very
I
challenging
know.
between recession,
It seems like it
inflation,
was.
and it was
Because COVID
weird.
forced all the businesses to raise their prices.
Everything,
Everything.
everything.
Everything. So it's like, how do you adjust when everyone is adjusting?
And that we didn't want it because we feel like the neighborhood
Exactly.
support us
Deserves.
when we
Right.
were in need, and
Mhm.
then now when we see people is not making as much money, we were feeling kind of guilty.
Yeah, I get
It
it.
was very challenging,
Mhm.
but after that, you have always to you know compete, and then like right now, us, me and my sister and family, we support local businesses as well.
That's great.
Sometimes we go around the corner and buy the coffee,
Very nice.
and it's good.
It's how it
There is
should
a
be.
place that
Right.
they make a great smoothies. We go there.
Oh yeah, I love smoothie.
The other place
Yeah.
with the fruit store, we go and buy over there
Nice.
because that's the way we know.
Yeah.
Then we have to support each other.
Right. This is all about community.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So this is Warrior Women in Business podcast. So when you hear the term warrior women, I'm interested to know, well, how does that make you feel? How would you describe a warrior woman?
Well, it's something that I would say in my case, my personal case, I learned from home. I raised with 7 kids, 7 boys at home,
Mm.
and it wasn't easy.
No, it's not.
It was fun. It
Yeah.
was very fun.
Yeah.
But that make the woman that I am right now.
Absolutely.
And I learned from my parents. My mother, she's a very humble woman, but determined, and then she never let us say, I can't do that, because you're like, you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna see you do it, and then you're going to do it right now.
Mm.
And it happens to us, when we were at home, when we have to close everything for COVID. One day she was like, okay, I'm sick of seeing you guys here, and I think you should go back to work.
Yeah.
I was worried about everything. And she's like, no, nothing's gonna happen to you.
Mm.
Nothing's gonna happen to you. You better go to work tomorrow because I don't want to see you here anymore. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
That's funny.
And then that's how we, get that strength from my mother.
It's always one person, one female, person that
Definitely.
kind of helps to push people forward, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So we only have a couple of minutes left, so two things I want to tackle, and thank you also for being on.
Thank you.
Failure, right? So if you were going to give a tip to anybody, how do you go from failure to start to see the light to success in this business?
We were just, things are not always pink and bright. We're always going to fail, but you know what? It's part of the learning process.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to get over it and then keep walking. You cannot allow yourself to stay there and crying. We women, I know
We're sensitive.
that we're very sensitive,
Right.
but we are stronger than we believe in ourselves many times. So
True.
you have just to get up and keep doing what you love to do and keep trying, and things are going to get better. Not the same day, but things are going to start getting better and better, little by little.
So it's a philosophy that it seems that you have.
Yeah.
And it's a good philosophy. I really like it.
Thank
So, for people that want to come enjoy the food,
Please visit us.
all
We are
right. So,
fun.
could you name your locations
Of
again
course.
and do me the favor of saying that in Spanish that you did so eloquently, and the neighborhood, just so people know?
Okay. Taqueria El Patron Mexican Grill, located at 51 Lincoln Road, 51 Lincoln Road.
Ah, good.
And the next door is Ish Restaurant. Ish, which you said that at the beginning means shower. 52, no, this is 43 Lincoln Road.
Mhm.
Across the street is Antojitos del Patron if you like to eat enchiladas, empanadas,
Nice.
handmade tortillas.
Nice.
Antojitos del Patron located 52 Lincoln Road here in Brooklyn in Prospect Park. And also the other location is 1612 Madison Street, Ridgewood.
I know where that is.
Delicious.
I'm going there.
And the location is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. That's a nice
And
area.
the other one is 191 on Fifth Avenue, Parslow.
Oh, in Park Slope.
Parslow,
All right.
not too far.
So if you're hungry and going through Brooklyn or Queens, you find your restaurant.
Exactly. It's easy.
It's easy. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate your time and you're amazing.
So now we're going to enjoy some of the food here. Again, my name is Jasmine Sandler. This is Warrior Women in Business, episode 52. Sitting here at Ish, and everybody knows I'm a big pet fan. So we're going to show the Jaguar also in the show notes. And look forward to upcoming Warrior Women in Business events. Stay tuned at warriorwomenbusiness.com. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Upcoming Warrior Women in Business events. Stay tuned at warriorwomenbusiness.com. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Upcoming Warrior